Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Cindy Brown, and let's queer up drag culture. 11 Texas universities ban drag shows, saying they don't follow our mission. The attack on LGBTQ rights continues as Texas A&M's Board of Regents bans drag performance across its 11 campuses. The decision follows increasing restrictions on queer expression, mirroring policies pushed by the Trump administration. The Regents claim drag shows are, quote, inconsistent with the system's mission and core values, including respect for others, and allege they create a hostile environment for women, end quote. Critics argue this is a blatant violation of free speech. J.T. Morris, senior attorney at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, said, quote, they are imposing a restraint on an entire category of protected speech under the First Amendment, end quote. The resolution echoes Trump's executive order, quote, defending women from gender ideology and extremism, end quote. What does that even mean? Which, he says, defines gender as strictly binary and threatens funding cuts to institutions that don't comply. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has also signed support for restricting LGBTQ events and education. This isn't the first attack on queer spaces in Texas. Last year, Texas A&M eliminated an LGBTQ studies minor and stopped offering gender-affirming care at student health centers. The crackdown follows similar moves nationwide, including at Stanford University, where officials have barred trans women from competing in women's sports. LGBTQ advocates vow to challenge these bans, calling them government overreach and a direct assault on free expression. LGBTQ activists have expressed fear that this will lead to a larger ban of drag performances on the campuses of public universities. This would strike a dramatic new escalation of attacks on the LGBTQ community. Well, let me tell you, I've been to many drag shows, drag brunches, and you know who was there? A lot of straight women celebrating their, pre-wedding bridal showers. Drag shows are not an attack on women. Not in the least. They're a form of artistic expression. For goodness sakes, Bob Hope was a drag queen when he went and visited the troops in World War II.
That's right.
As entertainment. And these Puritans who think that their version of reality is the same as for the rest of us, it's ludicrous. They always say, well, the LGBT community is forcing their lifestyle on us. I beg to differ. I think it's the other way around. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like drag shows, don't go to them. If you don't want to see men performing on stage as women, don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race. I can choose not to go to an evangelical church because it offends me. I'm not forced to do it. I just don't go. I don't say they shouldn't exist. I just choose not to go. And I challenge these folks at Texas A&M to exercise their own personal freedom to attend things they want and let others attend things that they want. It's just goes on and on.
Yeah, and you look at the hypocrisy from the leaders that are initiating these initiatives who are total hypocrites when you think about
Absolutely.
them. They're womanizers, sleeping with porn stars, and I'm not being holier than thou in saying that.
Yeah.
But it's just factual.
It's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is. And, growing up on, what you talked about, certainly comedians like Harvey Korman on the Carol Burnett show when I was a kid, Flip Wilson. Yeah. And it was fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's part of life. It's just, it's an expansion of someone's acting abilities and just playing a character. And, they've had women play men. I remember Lily Tomlin, I swear, she's played men before. Other people have, very talented people. And, for this puritanical wave to come over, especially the hypocrisy that continues. You look at the football teams and you look at the cheerleaders now, and then they're in front of children.
Of course,
but that's okay for them to have their, they're not even
their
Daisy Dukes.
Showing, right? Yeah,
yeah, those are pretty high up cut shorts there. So you look at the fears when they throw children in the mix, and they say drag queens are endangering children, and then you look at some of these women who are very provocatively dressed, who are heterosexual or represent heterosexually to the communities out there. And it's really just about hatred.
Right.
And we continue just to have to move forward and present our artistic freedoms, whether it's going to a show at the Foundry with Ronnie Larson, or going to drag shows, and just, continuing to move forward.
Yeah, and, one of the things that really kind of frustrates me is these super religious people will tell you that God gives you free will. And if that's the case, then let people exercise it. Let people exercise it. Nobody's forcing anybody to go to a drag show. And if they are, they shouldn't be. But, let people live their lives. It's not hurting anybody.
Not at all.
Just let folks live their lives. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There's no other place than Queer News Tonight where we tell these